Okay, hello everyone, and good evening to all from my behalf too. It's always nice to be last and between the party, but I try to manage to get this over quick and easy. I think we have seen good presentations tonight, and thank you to HelSec for having me here as well. I'm honored to be here. This is actually my first time in HelSec, although I heard good positive things about HelSec and the positive glow it gives to the community, and keep doing the good work. My presentation is called Culture Eats Strategy for Breakfast. You probably heard it before somewhere, and it's actually a known quote from someone wiser than me, obviously. So I'm going to introduce myself very soon, but first I'm going to briefly go through the content of the presentation. So this is not a technical presentation, so sorry about that, but I guess you probably knew that already. In this presentation, I will elaborate on how Elisa has improved its cyber culture of the company. And I will try to give you some of the examples how communities and the potential of cyber professionals can be used to improve awareness and understanding, especially to our people outside the cyber domain, but also give meaning to the cyber pros themselves. I will first give you a high-level brief on how we are organized in Elisa in terms of cybersecurity, as we are a telecommunications company, but we also provide cybersecurity services. Don't worry, I'm not going to sell anything. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the core principles and values in our cybersecurity work and how our cybersecurity strategy is supporting those cultural aspects. Then I'm going to finish this talk by showing a few examples again on how you can improve your security posture and the culture of the company. But first, a little bit about me. Who is Teemu then? I have been working in InfoSec full time, nearly 20 years now, and my background is with networks. So I used to configure LANs, WANs, firewalls, VPNs, etc. And funny thing is that ISDNs and frame relays were still common when I was working with networks, and virtual LANs, VLANs, were just introduced. So yeah, I'm just that old. From there, I got interested in security of networks, obviously, and move ahead to architectures and further on in security management aspects, and I'm still on that path. I've been working in large ICT companies, and the last 5 years as a consultant before joining Elisa. You can find me on LinkedIn if you're interested in detailed background of my career. And okay, I'm currently working as a CISO at Elisa, and my objective is to enable people to succeed, basically. So I'm going to tell right now, I'm not here or in the company to fix security for other people. And as we know, security is responsible. Everyone is responsible for security. If you're interested in reading or listening about my thoughts in general, I recently participated in F-Secure's interview in their article called "The Year of Fearless Digital Business." That was basically an article of 5 security leaders. And I also had an interview in Yle Puhe in Juuso Pekkis's show about various aspects, and a few others listed there. So you can find the links below or just Google them. In my free time, if there's any, I try to dedicate as much time as possible to my 6-year-old son, who likes to play with his father, and that is a good thing. He likes to play. I also try to do some sport activities. I prefer outdoors, like running and so on, and especially during the COVID times, I think it's a good way to exercise. In the summertime, particularly, I like to ride a motorcycle. So that was a little bit about me. Then a little bit about cybersecurity work at Elisa, what we do. And when someone asks me, what is the cybersecurity work in Elisa, I usually like to describe it by dividing things to two entities. First, of course, we ensure the continuity of our own operations and services to our customers. And secondly, we provide cybersecurity services to our customers for them to ensuring their own business continuity. Both of these are naturally important to the company and dependent from each other. I have used the following analog to describe it. Like ensuring your continuity is like taking care of your home and your family, and doing business is like having a job and going to work. That makes sense. Obviously, you cannot go to work unless your home and family are in order. And on the other hand, you can't maintain your hold and you can take care of your family if you don't have a job. I'm mainly responsible for keeping our operations on and secured, but I also support the business, for example, talking with the customers and helping to develop new cybersecurity services to our company. Going forward, these 4 things in this slide represent our values or principles or whatever they're called, but 4 important things where we build our cyber operations. Transparency and communication, I think, like heard already tonight, it's a very important area, and I think it's all about making cybersecurity more transparent, and this means clear communication and the different levels of the organizations. So you need to talk different language to business leaders and specialists, and you need to demystify cybersecurity to people outside the domain, so it's no longer scary and complex thing for them. I believe by doing this, interest in cyber in general increases, and more people are entering the industry. So we're like filling the skills gap as well. We also need more clear and more understandable communications in top management level, and we need to have a story there, and the story needs to be solid. I mean, the story needs to tell why cybersecurity is important and how it correlates with the business strategy. So you need to align with the business strategy. I like to think that we as CISOs, we are sort of cyber storytellers. So we tell a story and needs to tag these things together and make a solid story of it. I want to give a few examples how we have improved the transparency and communication in our company. We have done incident communications for a long time. I mean normal incidents, not cyber incidents. And that has a long roots in our company. But cybersecurity incidents and the communication of cyber security incidents has been a little different in terms of the distribution of the message and the content of the messages. And there were like notifications sent to only a few people, and the content was basically in Finnish language and a little bit informal, so to say. And now we have changed the language to English, made the content more clear and easier to read, so it's more simpler, and then extended the distribution of the message to a larger audience like business leaders and other stakeholders. That makes our incident communications more transparent and simple, more clear communication. Then we started a weekly info sharing session called Cyber Ops Briefing, where our Security Operations Center briefs multiple stakeholders about what has happened during the past week in cyber operations and in terms of incidents and threats and development. And that kind of brings transparency as well to security operations. We also started to publish this called incident war stories. So basically, we take some of the already happened incidents, sanitize them a little bit and make them easier to read, easier to understand for normal people, and then publish it to larger audience. And this way people can learn from real incidents easy, as they can see that, okay, this has happened and maybe my system or my service has the same weaknesses. And then without like telling what is the system and who is the person involved there. We also, in cyber in general, we aim to have a no blame game, meaning that we absolutely do not go and blame people when something happens. We also have stickers that it's allowed to fail. People do fail, and we don't make jokes about people's mistakes in cyber, and not to disgrace anyone in any way. So that's a very important thing to consider. Sometimes it's very easy to you make this mistake, are you stupid, or something like this. It's not okay. We also have this company-wide automated phishing simulation training, but I will get back to that later. I have our own part of it in this presentation. Then cooperation and trust. It's all about increasing collaboration between in our own company, between the organizational units, but also with the customers and the public sector. And what would be better way to do this than joint exercises? Joint exercises is a great learning event and cooperation. Increasing transparency also builds trust. So you probably know that there have been cases in the past, the public cases, where an incident has occurred, and the victim of an attack has been awful quiet, as in non-transparent. And then there has been cases where the victim has come up strongly with the issue at hand and openly shared what has happened. And I believe the latter example is better example, and they have to have a better outcome. But I think that trust also means that us as a security practitioners, we need to reduce the need of control to other people. I mean that we should decrease the need of control and increase trust in people. And yes, people do make mistakes, but that is what people do. And we also do mistakes. We need to be there to help and support people instead of continuously telling them that what should you be doing and what should you definitely not need to be doing. So being supportive and helpful and like in a way coaching people is a good way, not being an obstacle. When people start to trust you and see that you can provide value to them in their own main jobs, things will start getting more smoothly. Resilience, already mentioned tonight. I know it's a sort of a buzzword, by resilience, I mean that when we are building information systems and networks, we need to focus on attack tolerance, so to say. So the systems and networks need to be tolerant to attacks, and so that the attacks can be detected and responded as quick as possible, so the business can be restored. I have used the example of if you think about skyscrapers in Japan, and Japan has a lot of earthquakes, and they don't build the skyscrapers in the assumption that there's no earthquakes. They keep it in mind that earthquakes will come, and the buildings need to tolerate the earthquakes as much as possible. And we should think the same way when designing systems. So I mean that we don't need to or try to build perfect security, as that doesn't exist. We need to aim for adequate security that is enough, and it's based on your risk profile. I have one idea, an example about the resilience, and I will get back to that in a moment. Last but not least, continuous improvement. This is something that is also has been in a very long time in our company culture, not in a cyber way, but the foundations are there, and it's a question of when, not if, when security incidents happen, and they do happen. Organizations should have a systematic way of learning from them. There's no point like having anything if you can't learn from your mistakes. There needs to be a clear process on continuous learning, how you learn from events, how the event is, how the post-mortem review or whatever it's called is held, and there is responsibilities given and assignments given. So, and I think that we need also learn about threats, not just incidents and when something hits the fan. I read an article a while back that was called "Be Thankful for Breaches," and I believe it was from Gartner, but it emphasizes the importance of learning and how you can learn from incidents and turn your employees into controls against the future attacks. Good examples of effective continuous learning, I think, is red teaming exercises, for example, or purple teaming exercises, as we call them, because red team and the blue team are working together and have results through that. I would like to have usually the red teaming exercises are like assignments give to a consulting company or something, and then they come and do like an auditing and give the CISO a report that, okay, here are the findings. Now it's your turn to fix things. I'd rather see a report that says that, okay, we found these things, and together with your team, we fixed the things. Then I'm like, okay, I don't have to do anything. It's good. This one I mean about the resilience. I want to bring up this. I think this is a key concept in holistic security. It's sometimes called defense in depth or layer protection or onion model or whatever. But I believe that this is not news to most of you, but you might get something out of it when communicating this in your company. And this is one example we have used. So basically, the idea is to set up multiple layers of security measures so that when one protection fails, there's a next one to catch up. And the measures can be like in this picture, like physical measures, like secure data centers and locks and guards and CCTVs or what have you, or technical like firewalls and access controls, anti-malware, EDR, whatever, or administrative like policies and guidelines and awareness training, for example. And obviously, the objective in this, again, is not to make perfect security, but rather to make the attacker's job as hard as possible, and you being able to detect and contain the attack. That's the objective. And I guess there's a analog here, and the idea is very similar in the current digital era, digital ages, and where we are living, and in the Middle Ages, where they also have layered protection. And in the digital era, we try to protect data, and in the medieval era, they try to protect the castle. And they had like moats and limited entry points and outer walls, inner walls, watchtowers. And usually the whole establishment was built in a higher ground, so it's easier to defend when attackers come. So very similar idea there. Awareness improves understanding, which creates interest and commitment that develops culture. I believe that in cybersecurity, as with any case, if you don't understand the matter, you can't commit to it. It's sort of no-brainer. So on the other hand, if you are aware and understand, it is very likely that you will be interested in the matter and can commit doing it. This is actually the core of this presentation. So if an organization's corporate culture sort of is rejecting cybersecurity and people don't understand the importance, it's very likely that you can have whatever objectives or strategies or anything measures, they will probably fail. And I think it's the same with any other thing. If you don't know why something needs to be done, you are not very motivated doing it. Like do something just because you have to. It doesn't make any sense to people. And I want to emphasize that we as security people, security practitioners, we need to be able to communicate and explain cybersecurity to people outside cyber domain. Otherwise, we have failed. It's our job to do it. And also, I recently realized that empathy is very important. So we need to have more empathy when dealing with people. Let's say in an example that there is we found security vulnerabilities on some application or system that some other person has spent years building. It's like their child or something like that. And then we go and say that this is a piece of junk, your system, and what have you done, and so on. That's not good. Communities. I like communities, like HelSec. We at Elisa believe that one of the most important means of building cyber culture is to contribute in communities like HelSec. And we see that it benefits the company in many ways. For example, it improves the employer brand image. So people want to come to us work, and it attracts new talent. And it increases our internal cyber posture and expertise. People learn from these hackathons and whatever. And then it definitely helps business. So I would say that majority of people don't know that Elisa provides cyber services, for example. So through this, we spread the word and be there for people. And we do have our own internal cyber community that is actually created by Juho back in the days. And there's over 100 professionals. I believe some of the people are listening right now who have the passion of sharing information on their own area of expertise. They might be working in a development or telco or whatever areas, but they still want to be part of the community. So they don't need to have their as the main job duties cybersecurity in any way. And perhaps a person is working with our company, not doing cyber in any way, but has a hobby on cyber. Still, he or she can join our community. Everyone is welcome. And together we organize meetups like this and share information and stories and network together, get to know each other. And we are also participating in capture the flag events and hackathons and exercises like Splunk's Boss of the SOC, for example. It's a good organized event. And I have to say that it would be perfect that if all people in our company would have the same level of enthusiasm doing cybersecurity work as some of the people have when for example, the disobey challenge is open. People are like really doing them day and night. It's awesome. I think we have to turn that into corporate work somehow. And HelSec, we are part of HelSec now, as announced this week, and some of our employees are also in the board, and we want to be contributing in this kind of work. And we also, I think it's important that we support initiatives like the outreach project, where people are they're seeking to assist victims of digital abuse or stalking and this kind of things, and we want to contribute in this and be part of it. And what's missing in this slide is we actually are launching this Generation Jet challenge for which aims to provide cyber challenges to young people from 13 to 18 years old. It's a challenge that if I remember it correctly. Okay, then a few examples on how you can not only improve the cyber posture of the company, but also affect the cultural aspects. And automated phishing simulation training, we have done it roughly 2 years ago. We started doing it, and we do it for all our employees and contractors. Each person that has an elisa.fi or elisa.com account has this service, and also in Estonia. And we actively measure employee success on detecting phishing emails and reporting those suspicious emails as well. And we do reward people in top of this as the best performance for quarter, for example, with a gift card. And in general, people are very happy with this training as we measure the net promoter score as well. Then bug bounty programs. I believe many of you are bounty hunters as well. I think it's an excellent way of identifying vulnerabilities that automatic scanners can't do, and continuously improve the security of online services and teach the organization. So people in part of the bug bounty programs are learning every day. And then I have seen that people who join the bug bounty programs, I mean from our behalf, and haven't been familiar with bug bounties, they will get very excited very soon. And I think in general, bug bounty programs are a very cool way of improving security. And it's not that expensive if you think about it. I think it has given this that it's very expensive. You need to pay very much and so on. But you can start from small things. Maturity models. Anne also already mentioned this, but I think the maturity models are pretty good tools for managing cybersecurity. So they are very good management tools, but you can use them to communicate and in transparency. and where are we now and where we are heading. And especially to the top management, it's a good tool to show the overall situation. And the maturity tools allow CISOs to identify the longer term development targets and answer the question, what should we do? And then they demonstrate the continuous improvement. And then in our company, there has been a very good feedback on various auditors that audit of some framework or whatever, and that we have this separate continuous improvement program, and they refer to the cyber maturity assessment. And it also allows CISOs to set up more concrete actions for a certain time period. For example, if you have like a longer term objective, like improve your detection capability, and then you need to split up into half a year concrete objectives. You can do it. You can do it with the maturity models. Just pick that. Let's go from maturity level 1 to 3, for example, and what that means. And we recently changed our maturity assessment. We started 2018 something doing this, but recently we changed the assessment model to use the Traficom's Kybermittari, and I encourage others to do the same, because it's a very good tool, and it brings value to the management level. So it's a simple way to demonstrate the maturity of the company. This was not a paid advertisement. Okay, then more example means we started last year a new way of telling people in our companies, so all the people in our company, including the contractors, that how we're doing in cybersecurity as a company. We call it the cyber menu, which is here in the left, and because it looks like a restaurant menu. And the cyber menu includes, for example, what kind of incidents we are facing, statistics of, for example, DDoS attacks and other technical metrics, for example, and then development, what we are doing. So basically, basic things for people to understand. And we also recommend good sources of further learnings, like in this example. There is Turvakäräjät and Herrasmieshakkerit and the Darknet Diaries. So we guide people to learn more. And why we do this? It's because of transparency, obviously, and learning. And also I mentioned earlier that we have this war stories series. And here is one example of an actual incident that happened to us. And we went and created a comic of it. So it's visualized in a comic format, and it's easy to read. There's a little bit of humor, and the most important thing, it includes a lesson, something to learn, and then what happened, why it happened, and how it can be prevented to happen again. So this is the last actual slide in this deck, and I wanted to tell that if this story made any sense to you, and perhaps you get excited about the things we do in Elisa, I wanted to give a heads up that we will very soon have cyber opportunities opening, and stay tuned and see our recruitment page if you're interested. There will be roles like team managers and cyber consultants and service delivery and development roles. Okay, that was the last slide.
Thank you very much, Teemu, for your presentation. We have a few questions for you. First, the first question is about taking a nap at work. Do the CISO in Elisa have own room where to take a nap?
No, obviously no. I think our office is renewed a while back, and there's like no one has their own room except the CEO and some people who have certain connections to authorities, so static phone lines and such. But of course, there are rooms for relaxing, but perhaps not taking a nap. And there are PlayStations as well, if you want to spend your coffee break or something playing games.
Okay, so you still have time to sleep as a CISO.
I try to sleep at nights, but sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, yeah. You had this castle picture in your presentation. Where is the CISO in the picture? In the front line or in the middle of the castle drinking beer?
I think he or she needs to be everywhere, supporting the people and giving guidance.
All right. So Yaroneko is asking that if you could choose whatever CISO position for your next position, where would you want to be next and why?
I think it would be good to be in a company where security is playing an essential role. So technology company or something where digitalization is playing a key role. There it's easier to accomplish things and I think easier to explain why cybersecurity is relevant and why it needs to be done.
All right. So the last question is about CISOs and CISO community in Finland. Do you talk to other CISOs in Finland? And do you do it often?
Yes, I do. And I try to do it very often. Now it's a little bit hard because of the COVID, but there are actually good ways of like a facilitated ways. There are companies that you pay some money and they facilitate these meetings and have topics and themes there. And then I have a lot of former colleagues as CISOs in major companies. We discuss about things very often. And then of course the customers of Elisa and the CISOs there are interested to hear about things. So I believe that I do, and we should be doing more of that. That's like the area where no one is competing with each other. You can share information.
So basically, there is a need for CISOSec in Finland as well.
Perhaps, yeah. I think there are a lot of them globally, but it's better that you have the like a national level discussion as well.
Yeah, there was actually continuation for this question as well. Do Finnish CISOs talk to foreign CISOs as well, or is it just like national stuff?
Yeah, I think there's a very good groups in Scandinavia area, but when it goes beyond that, it's the discussion is moving in more general and if you think about the CISO in a company in the US and a CISO in a company in Finland, it's pretty different environments. So in that sense, it's better to have the people near you.
All right, perfect, and thank you very much, Teemu, for coming to our meetup. And we will have the closing words in few minutes, and we will have a few minute break before that. So stay tuned, and thank you, Teemu.
Okay, thank you, everyone.